Hi everyone, this is Anita and Susan, and today we're going to talk about GBV in church.
Yes. So I think nakuwa nudged up because been talking and doing issues about GBV, but we just want to jog your minds on issues of GBV in church. So we will just start the conversation and then we'll be able to pick it up, to the details in the next 2 to 3 videos that we'll be doing after this. So for today, just jogging your mind, if you could send in your comments or the things you'd want us to talk about or the issues you would want us to highlight in this segment of GBV in church. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we are just having a conversation, nothing giving professional ama nini nini. We're just having normal conversation.
Yeah, it's not a constructed
Yes, nini.
conversation. It's
Yes.
just random.
Random thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, random
So,
thoughts.
Anita, let me just ask, like, do you think maybe the church that you go, ama the people that you interact with when you wanaenda kanisani, do people really understand the concept of GBV in church, ama in Christian homes? Like, if you're spiritual and all of those things.
What I can say, it's really hard to know what happens behind the doors, but at least from the perception that is there, people don't really think about it, or they don't really talk about it. I've never heard anybody from church, even a pastor, talking about GBV. So I don't know if it's something they really talk about or they just assume that it's non-existent. Because if anything, whenever people have problems when it comes to church and maybe they approach pastors, because usually, I mean, people will have personal issues and they will approach men and women of God to just help them and encourage them. You'll find most of the things are attributed to the devil. So, so most of the issues they'll attribute it to the devil. But then at some point you would wonder, is this a devil's doing or this is our own doing? So how do we solve it when it comes to that? Because if it's being attributed to the devil, then definitely what will be done is to pray.
Yes.
So pray, and then what?
And then the demons will go away.
Yes, because what I know is that even prayer, it should be followed by actions. You don't just pray and expect a miracle. So yes, so there's prayer and then there's actions. But when something is now life threatening, what happens? Or if maybe a man or a woman of God is the perpetrator of GBV, how is it reported in church? Are people in church safe enough, to approach someone and report? Is there a department in church where they can talk about and be sure that something is going to be done about this? What we've had previously, it's like, say, Catholic priests, the ones who've maybe had cases, sexual violence cases. They've what has been done is mostly transferring them. Being transferred does not solve the issue.
Yeah.
It doesn't solve the problem. So I'm not sure. I don't think the church really, talks about this, or I don't know if there are measures. I personally don't know if there are measures to address any GBV cases in church. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, like I like hapo penye unasema like sometimes the church, or most of the time, the church does not really pick up on GBV issues. It goes, well, it's the devil and vitu kama hizo. So what I wonder is when we are saying that someone comes to church and anasema, maybe at home, their partner is violent, ama in church, they're being sexually assaulted or harassed or, sort of things. So why do we put the blame for the devil? What are you praying out? If that person ako hivyo, don't we recognize that in church, when you're nasemanga, it's like a hospital. Everyone comes with their own character and their own problems. Don't we then recognize that there are people in church? People tend to claim that, or rather, I tend to think that it's perceived. So long as you're in the church, you cannot be violent because you're supposed to be spiritual, you're supposed to be guided by the Holy Spirit, which is true. But then again, we can agree not everyone in church operates under the principles, under the realm that, guided by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So I tend to feel that this conversation is paramount, considering that we've had cases of GBV both in, our homes, Christian homes, and uko nje, even at work, you meet someone, they're Christian, they're always, their Bible, but in reality or whatever they are doing,
Yeah.
naona haiambatani. So there is just an example I want us to discuss, and then we can let our viewers and audience, talk to us, and then we can pick the conversation again. Let's talk of example of how, pastors tend to coax or, assault their congregants under false pretense. For example, let's say ladies who have been barren, and, we're looking for the fruit of the womb. You're there, you're praying and everything, and then the pastor is like, if you sleep with me, I will open everything, and, when your husband comes, automatically you get pregnant. Oh, you're having issues in life, you're trying to figure out why is this happening, and then it's like, if you sleep with me, or if you allow me to, put my fingers on my mouth here and there, I'll suck out the all the demons in you, and then I'll go and dispose whatever they go to dispose those demons, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think of this? Clearly, it's a violation. Clearly, these congregants are being taken advantage of because they're in a vulnerable state, right? What do you think about such from an aspect of it being, GBV?
Well, what I can say is that these people, yes, like you said, they're in a very vulnerable state. So they would do anything to, you know, to to ensure that they are taken out of that situation that they're in. So what happens is that they believe in this man of God, woman of God, so much that whatever this person is doing does not seem like a violation to them. So when it comes to that, I think it's an issue of power. It's like a power
Like power imbalance.
Power imbalance,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you. So in this case, this person praying, this woman or man of God, is in a higher position of power, and they manipulate that power. When it comes to now praying for this person who needs their help. So I think it's up to people should hold these people accountable. Somebody should be able to call out somebody doing these things, a man or woman of God. Should I say a person of God? Yes, as somebody in charge should be able to call out a person of God and say, this is wrong, what you're doing, it's a violation, it's you're violating somebody. So I don't know if there's that kind of freedom in church, because when it comes to church, what we've seen, people try so much to protect the name of the church or the pastors in charge. So you find someone doing something really wrong, and then they try to hide it because they fear that we'll lose the congregation.
Yeah.
The name of the church is going to be smeared all over for no reason, or this person is just malicious. So I think when it comes to that, they really try to hide, and it's actually violating somebody. It's GBV.
It is GBV.
It's an assault.
It is.
Yes. So I don't know if there are people in church that can call out, but when it comes to me, I know that's a violation of somebody's right, and it should be called out. If anything, surely, if a person of God is doing that in front of the congregation, in front of people, or maybe people know that he does this in his small office, there should be a place for reporting. And they should be sure that this thing is going to be reported and it's going to be addressed. But what we have right now is a congregation ready to protect the church, the name of the church, and its people, the pastor. So whatever happens in church stays in church.
Stays in church.
Yeah.
Okay. People, we're really having quite background noise, so we are trying to manage hapa na kule. Forgive us for that. But finalizing, so we are sending it out to you guys. Engage us. Let us know. Have you been a victim, or a survivor of violence in church? Does your church have like a GBV place you can report, a center or a department that handles cases of GBV?
And how effective has it
Yes,
been?
how effective has it been? Walikuombea demon ikatoka ama how did that go about? And then also let us know if young couples dating who got into marriage, if you went through premarital counseling, did they discuss about issues of GBV? Aside the aspect of being submissive as a woman and dominant as a man.
Yeah.
Did they talk to you about incidences like how do you handle cases when it comes to GBV at home?
Yeah.
So please engage us, let us know. And then if there are any questions, any concerns, or any areas you would want us to discuss or, shed more light to it, please, you can, chat us up.
Yeah.
If you're a victim, you need anonymity, you can inbox either of us on our social media pages. We promise to be confidential. And then, yeah, we can now discuss, can delve further into it. So see you guys.
See you and thank you for
Okay, bye
watching.
bye.